What is the difference between a media buyer and a fractional CMO who actually cares about your business? Now, before I dive into this topic, I want to explain something. A lot of D2C founders outsource to advertising agencies. And I'm not saying that's bad, right? Every brand has to go through their fair share of agencies. But coming from an agency background, how does that affect the total bottom line of your business? Well, running an agency is the same business model that's trying to grow their profit, trying to grow their bottom line. So 9 times out of 10, you have the founder who's taking the sales call, they close you on a deal, and the founder might not even know how to run ads themselves, but what they do is outsource to somebody in a third world country or somebody fresh out of high school or college to run ads for themselves. And as a byproduct, they're just focusing on making your ROAS look nice on a specific platform like a Facebook ads or Meta ads, right? They're just focused on making sure they can maintain you as a client for another 90 days. So the reason why the average agency has a churn rate of 90 days for every new client they sign on is because after their work, right, they could be generating a 2.5x ROAS or 1.5x ROAS, right? Everything might look super optimal, but then at the end of the month, when you look at your P&L sheet, you are seeing more losses than profit, even at a 2x ROAS, even at a 2.5x ROAS. Now, what separates that position of hiring an agency, working with media buyers that are just button pushers, compared to a fractional CMO, somebody who's coming into your business and analyzing not only your P&L sheet, looking over expenses, but also setting a game plan for the entirety of your marketing strategy. Now, I've come from both positions, right? The previous 4 years ago, I was an advertising agency, ran Facebook ads, then transitioned into running creatives. Now I'm in a position of having so much experience handling loads of ad spend where I'm a fractional CMO. For every partner that comes to work with me, our average LTV, they stay with me for a minimum of 12 months, bare minimum, because we're fixing the bottlenecks that will actually grow their business instead of just pushing random buttons, setting up different campaign structures to optimize for ROAS, right? We don't optimize for ROAS. We optimize for growing your profit and your P&L sheet every single month. Now, when I come into a business, when I do a full audit, the first thing I'm looking at is previous ads tested, what were the offers ran, what were the unit economics from those specific offers. If our gross margin is not above 75%, right, or if our gross margin is below the threshold, I would say is we want to have a gross margin target of around 70 to 75%. If anything is below that from one single SKU, then I want to create a bundle to raise overall AOV so that our gross margin is higher on the front end so that we collect first order profit. Now, simultaneously, I can't control if someone's going to buy back from your business or not. We can try to optimize like back in email SMS, we could try consistent collection drops, we can try these different mechanisms, but ultimately, if your product just sucks in the market, people are not going to come back. So that's where the ability of having product market fit is super important if you want to scale properly. But back to my main point of coming in as a fractional CMO, optimizing the unit economics. What separates a fractional CMO from a media buyer is that fractional CMO understands the relationship one single access channel has to the entirety of a business. Let me extrapolate. When you run one single ad creative, you realize the CPM is at $20 and the frequency is at like 1.5, 1.6. That is telling me this creative is more bottom of the funnel. And I do that, let's say in a complete, at the ad level, right? We have like 2 variations of ad creatives, or in our main winners of ad set, whatever. Let's say this is the winners from social proof from previous creative testing from DCTs. Let's say we have a group inside our main winners ad set that's like 4 to 5 ads where they've had decent amount of spend, they're profitable from our first DCT test, and we have that post ID there to host that. So let's say in a main winners ad set going fully CBO, going fully broad, let's say we have 5 ads. In those 5 ads, right, we have one ad where the CPM is at like $12, the frequency is like 1.02, 1.03, and then the CPA on that isn't profitable. But then we have 2 other ads where the CPM is higher, like $20, $25, the frequency 1.5, 1.6, and it's super profitable. As a fractional CMO, what I'm doing is I understand that creative that might not look sexy on paper, that might not be profitable from a CPA perspective, but it is driving traffic to fill the funnel for these other lower bottom of the funnel creatives where Facebook's placing them. So I'm not going to turn off that ad creative if it's filling the entirety of the funnel. Whereas a media buyer would just simply go into that creative and see, oh, it's not profitable after 7 days, let me just turn it off. And then the whole funnel tanks. Because if you want to have a profitable, sustainable funnel, you need your fair share of mixes of creatives that are top of funnel and creatives that are bottom of the funnel. Sure, not every top of funnel creative is going to be profitable, but we understand as a fractional CMO, there are incremental lifts outside of the business that this single ad creative has that's going to yield us a higher profit. Whereas if we were to turn off every single ad that isn't profitable, we're always going to be dealing with some sort of ad fatigue, some sort of inconsistency, and not have the ability to actually grow our bottom line, because it's causing more harm than actually producing an ROI. So this is why, like, back to my main point, you can have the highest ROAS possible, but you could still not generate some sort of profit or be at some sort of net loss because you're only optimizing for that channel. I can go a step further. When we run ads on Facebook, we're going fully broad. I understand, okay, this is my top of funnel ecosystem. This is acquiring brand new customers. Simultaneously, while doing that, let's say I'm running Google ads. I understand the relationship from Facebook to Google. People that come across Facebook but don't purchase might want to search your brand up on Google. So this is where you can launch like a PMAX, you can launch a search campaign, because on an incremental scale, Facebook might be super profitable, and then use Google as more of your bottom of the funnel retargeting base from people that didn't convert on Facebook. And as a whole, you're catching more losses. You're able to mitigate the amount of losses on the front end by utilizing both platforms. Whereas before, right, instead of launching a whole retargeting campaign on Facebook, just focusing on other access channels to aid the entirety of your business. Because realistically, people go on Facebook, you can get top of funnel customers there, but Google is not going to be the platform that's going to generate top of funnel customers. Google is a great platform to hit bottom of the funnel customers after you're spending loads of money on Facebook. Simultaneously, then I might go a step further. I might look at YouTube ads. If I'm already running Google, I might try to utilize YouTube ads to get top of funnel customers, or I might even tap into TikTok, depending on what my ideal customer profile is. If they're Gen Z/millennial and my product fits that demographic. If it's not, then I'll just go Facebook, Google, and YouTube ads. It really just depends on what stage you're at with your business. And what separates a media buyer from a fractional CMO is that, simply put, a media buyer is just a button pusher optimizing for one single access channel, and a fractional CMO understands the holistic relationship platforms have with one another. The relationship one single creative has on, okay, with this one ad creative, the search volume goes up, the email opt-ins goes up. So although it might not look sexy on paper, it's still helping our business substantially versus us turning off that single ad creative because it's not profitable and on Facebook dashboard. So with that being said, guys, I hope I was able to provide value for you to understand how each relationship with each platform works. And if you're looking to mitigate the process or mitigate the phase where you're getting burned by ad agencies by paying them 10, 15, 20K retainers, I help founders build in-house for exits with the exact protocol I've covered before. So if you're interested, check out scalevelocity.io. You can see our protocol, you can read our white papers, you can read my case studies, my testimonials, so on and so forth, and then you can book a call to see if you're a right fit so that we can help you build in-house so that you can one day exit your business. With that being said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.